Before we dive in, if you're into real, raw stories about love gone wrong, hit that subscribe button and stick around. I noticed the first crack on a Thursday evening. The way she held her phone, thumb hovering, almost like it was guilty of a secret it couldn't keep. Marissa, my wife of 7 years, smiled at me, but not really at me. It was a kind of smile that floats somewhere between routine politeness and distance. Our small apartment smelled faintly of coffee and something else, perfume. And for the first time in years, it felt unfamiliar. The night had started normal. I was flipping through the channels, trying not to listen to the faint click of her heels against the kitchen tile as she moved around. She said she was just making tea. I glanced down at my own phone and noticed a string of unread messages from her. Hundreds, from a name I didn't recognize. I froze. Marissa noticed my pause and laughed, lightly, almost rehearsed. "Work stuff," she said, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. But the tremor in her voice betrayed her casualness. Something was off. The tea whistle blew, sharp and high, and I realized I hadn't heard from her all day. Not a call, not a text. Over the next few hours, she moved around the apartment like a ghost in her own home. The way she sipped tea, the way she pretended to scroll through her phone while secretly hiding the screen from me. There were sudden errands, subtle excuses to leave the apartment. The scent of her perfume lingered long after she left, but not in a comforting way. More like a warning I couldn't put words to. I tried to shake it off. Maybe I was imagining it. Maybe I was overthinking. But when I picked up her discarded scarf on the couch, I felt the hairs on my neck rise. There was lipstick on it that wasn't hers. A pale, careless stain. My heart thudded, an echo I couldn't ignore. I didn't confront her that night. I just sat in the dark, the city lights filtering through blinds, and listened. That night, I realized something I feared but refused to see. Marissa wasn't the same woman I had married, and I was about to find out just how far she had gone. But I didn't know that the real shock was still waiting. Someone else was already stepping into our lives, and he wasn't subtle. I woke to the vibration of my phone around 3 a.m. A name flashed across the screen that I didn't recognize. Ethan. My heart sank before I even answered. "Hello." My voice was tight, hoarse. "Hey, I'm sorry to call so late. I think we need to talk," said a man's voice, calm but with an edge I couldn't place. I frowned, my mind racing. "Who is this?" I demanded, gripping the phone like it was the only lifeline in a storm. "I'm Marissa's friend. Or more, I guess," he said, hesitation in his words. "I think you should know the truth before it gets worse." Something cold ran through me. I dropped the phone on the nightstand, staring at the ceiling. My thoughts were a whirlwind. Memories of smiles that didn't reach her eyes, the late nights she claimed were work, the texts I'd glimpsed when she thought I wasn't looking. I didn't have to wait long to confirm it. The next morning, she came home acting normal, but the tension in the apartment was suffocating. I watched her, studied her gestures. Every laugh seemed scripted, every touch calculated. Then came the texts. Dozens of them, a cascade I accidentally saw when she left her phone on the counter. Flirtatious, intimate, detailed. Plans that didn't include me. I read them over and over. Each were a knife twisting my chest. She had been with him, Ethan, for months, maybe longer. I confronted her gently at first. "Marissa, what's going on?" My voice was low, controlled, though my hands shook. She froze, eyes darting to the side, mouth opening and closing like she was searching for words that didn't exist. Then she left. Just like that. No argument. No explanation. Silence. She walked out, leaving me alone with a quiet apartment that felt heavier than ever. I thought the worst was over. That at least I knew. But that evening, the doorbell rang. My chest tightened. I wasn't expecting anyone. And when I opened the door, there he was, Ethan. Calm, composed, like he owned the place. "I think we need to talk," he said, smiling faintly. I stepped back, panic and rage colliding. This wasn't just about betrayal anymore. It was about intrusion, audacity, the audacity of someone stepping into the wreckage of my life with confidence. And in that moment, I realized this confrontation wasn't going to be just words. It was going to be fired at. I closed the door behind me, my chest tight, palms sweating. Ethan didn't move, didn't raise his hands, just leaned slightly, like he was testing my reaction. "You have some questions," he said, voice calm but unervingly confident. "I can answer them. Or you can make assumptions." "Assumptions? You're the reason my marriage is over," I shouted, stepping forward. Anger and betrayal were raw, bleeding into every word. "Do you even realize what you've done?" He paused. "I didn't force her to do anything. She made her choices. I just helped her feel alive again." The words cut deeper than I expected. Rage mixed with disbelief. Feel alive? By destroying someone else's life. I demanded, my voice cracking. He looked at me, almost pitying. "People change. Feelings change. You and Marissa, you were good, sure, but she needed something else. I didn't invent it." I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw him out, but part of me needed to understand the human part that clung to logic while my heart shattered. "So you just walked into my life, knowing everything?" He nodded. "I didn't know you'd answer the door tonight, but now we're here." I took a deep breath, the room spinning. I realized that the rage, the heartbreak, the betrayal, I couldn't let them define me forever. I could choose to crumble, or I could survive. "What will you do now?" I asked, voice low but steady, the first calm I'd felt in weeks. He shrugged. "I don't know. That's her choice, not mine." And with that, he left. The apartment felt emptier than ever, and yet I felt a spark of clarity. Marissa never returned that night. I never got explanations, apologies, or even a goodbye. But in the weeks after, I learned something I hadn't expected. Life continues, even when people you love betray you. I focused on myself, on rebuilding trust in the people who mattered, in quiet routines that reminded me I was still capable of love, still capable of feeling safe. Betrayal leaves scars, yes, but it also teaches lessons about boundaries, about honesty, about not letting someone else's choices define your worth. And one day I realized those scars were mine, not theirs. They were proof I survived, proof I could still trust myself again. If you've ever been through heartbreak, betrayal, or loss, remember, your story doesn't end in their choices. It starts in your courage. Share your thoughts below. And if you want more real, raw stories like this, subscribe and join us. You're not alone.